Okay, Libra. Sorry if this is coming out in reverse. I only have my phone to do this on for the time being. I figured I would look into the powers of the new moon. As of today, we're in, well, as of last night, about 11:30ish, we went into the time of the new moon, which is a time of fresh starts, new beginnings, new opportunities. So I thought I would just ask the cards what's likely for Librans right now. So I have 2 tarot decks, 2 oracle decks. So let's see what we can get. So what does Libra need to know about the current new moon's opportunities? Okay. 8 of water. It's time actually to be leaving something behind, something that has been really a lot of baggage that you don't actually need to carry anymore. So, what else? Okay. Ooh. Okay. Number 5. Okay. So we've got 8 of water, walking away, leaving baggage behind. We've got new start, opening up, and we've got the 2 of water, which shows the meeting of 2 hearts, basically. Then we've got opportunities. Okay. We've got the 7 and earth, the 7 of earth, which is about patience, and the 5 of water, which is about basically just keeping yourself to yourself and looking back on your past and basically healing it, because the time is to this is like the central card, and so this is like what has been happening or for quite a while, and it's been a time of patience, waiting for something new to come along, something new to discover, to experience. Okay, so one of air, in what can you embrace? How can you embrace the opportunities? One of air is to be clear about what you want. So we've been waiting, and that waiting for a harvest has been a time of learning what you do want from having experienced what you don't want in your life. Okay, now I say what, not who, because the who doesn't really matter compared to the what, okay? But it needs clarity. It does need clarity in order to gain that. I didn't think I'd press start then. Okay. Now, how can you make the most of this time? Completion. This is like the World card. This is to understand, to believe that all this healing work that you've been doing, probably in isolation, because there's been some depression there, some hurt, so it's probably been done in isolation. So the one of air asks for clarity, because it's clarity that will bring you to completion. And the message that the new moon is bringing you is definitely to leave something behind, and that is this: the waiting. You can stop waiting now, because you've been there long enough now, and I feel like it's been quite a long time, and you're becoming clearer on what you need to leave behind and what you need to create with these two cards. Okay, so you're becoming clearer, because even though you may have been on your own, you've put the work in. Okay, while you've been sat here on your own, you've put the work in. Okay, now let's see what other information we can find from this. So the new moon is asking you to leave stuff behind that is from the past, okay? Because now we're coming into this newness, this new opportunity to attract two hearts together. In the current, and like say in the past, according to that, in the past, you've been holding on, waiting it out, doing the work to self-heal. It's been a long way. It's taken a long time. But now you can look clearer towards your own future, because this is a beginning of clarity. This new moon is bringing you a beginning of clarity. Clarity to know what it is you want from your life right now. And this knowing what you do want has come from the learning of what you don't want, of what you can let go of. Okay, so let's see what other cards we've got. What oracle card have we got here? No, I feel the tarot. Okay, we'll go with this. What other information is there for Libra on this new moon? And how does it fit with their new opportunity, please? Oh, two came out again. Okay, their new opportunity is summer, winter, 5 of forces. Okay, yes, there's been a lot of change, and it's something that's had to happen. The chess game, the 3 of keys, you've had to use this time basically to lay out this strategy, okay, to learn. You've had to change from the winter, the dark energy that you felt, the cold energy that you felt, into the summer, okay? That's been like an emotional change that you've had to make, an emotional growth that you've had to make with the 5 of water, okay? It's taken a while with the 7 of earth, and this indicates this change from this coldness to this summer blossoming, okay? It's also been a time of learning what you want, like I said before, from what you don't want, of strategizing, of clarifying, okay? Being clear on intention and next move, okay? So the other card that we've got is the Lookout. The Lookout. You have been watching and learning, okay? You've been watching and you've been learning, strategizing, understanding what you need to do, okay? You've been there watching out for pitfalls, learning about red flags, about pitfalls, about things that are in your way, things that can trip you up, things that can sink your boat, okay? Now we've got the Sands of Time, the 6 of Scrolls, and it's like this lesson is all to do with a contract, the scrolls from the past. So it looks like that what put you into this episode of waiting and learning and actually healing, learning your strategy, because you've been looking out for things, you've been learning, and you've moved yourself from the coldness of this, whatever it was that upset you. You can now move into the summer, because that is basically what you were contracted to learn. That was your lesson, to learn what you wanted from by understanding what it was that you didn't want in your life. Like I say, I'm not talking about people. There can be many, many soulmates that come along to teach you this lesson, because in this life we see and we think and we assume that this is perfect for us, but we assume that it's perfect for us in a way that we're going to enjoy, that's going to be all rosy and lovely. But how it turns out, it can actually be something that is perfect for us because it teaches us. It teaches us to look out for certain flags, for certain boulders, for certain tripwires, so that we can learn to move through life safely and in a better way, and knowing what to look for, the downfalls, the pitfalls, and the highs, how to win, so that we know what we want to put in our life. Because what we've had is the coldness, but we've been taking the time to heal that. And now it's time with this new moon to start looking towards the summer bounty. Now, it could be that the harvest of this work that you've patiently been waiting for will come in the summertime. Currently, in this northern sphere of the planet, we're in our physical winter, but it could be a timer for this change to actually come to vision within the summer. Or if you're in the southern hemisphere, then you're already in your physical summer. So for me, what I'm actually hearing right now is that even though there could be a time lapse, depending on how brave we are at wanting to go out there and take up the new opportunities that are coming for this heartfelt union, which may be a romance, it may be a soulmate, it may be a new best friend. It could be anything like that, because a soulmate can appear in any physical form. But that could happen, could be the time of the harvest right now for you to go out there and, having left that baggage behind, dump that baggage because it weighs you down, and you can move on, onwards and upwards. You can move on without all that baggage. Dump the baggage. It's time to pull in the harvest. The harvest is coming whether you want it or not, whether you're brave enough to face it or not. The only thing that will stop it, because this is a destined contract for you to now start to reap in the harvest of what you've been actually learning and dealing with, okay? It's now time for you to reap in that harvest, because you're coming into that clarity, okay? And that clarity is one of knowing what you want. This is the completion card, the world card, and this means that now you have the opportunity to complete this, this soul contract of learning this lesson. And this lesson is almost completed for you. It just now depends on whether you are prepared and ready to completely walk away from the baggage. Look out for future red flags, because you know then to avoid the old lesson. You don't need to go through that old lesson again. And if you see anything of that old lesson, you can have the strength now and the strategy, because you've worked on that strategy, to walk away from those obstacles, those red flags, because the lookout can now see them. You're high enough now to be able to see them. You're at a much higher level. This is the Akashic Records, and you've gone to a much higher level now, that you will spot players, you will spot games, you will spot trickeries and strategies that come up in front of you, so that you can deal with them. And that is your lesson. That is your soul lesson. People that have come in, that have hurt you, that have created damage in your life, that have built up baggage, This is what you've got to drop. You've got to drop all the pain and the baggage that came with them, because you're entitled to this feeling of joy and happiness and union. Now, whether this feeling is with another or just within yourself, I don't know. But you know now what you want. It feels like peace to know what you want. Okay, so let's see what this oracle deck can offer us. Let's go to the oracle deck now to finish. Okay. Follow the path of your soul. Okay? Follow your soul path. It's not the path of your eyes and the path of your mind, your thinking. It's the path of your heart where your soul lives. And it's not about the mind tricking you into the fact that, into a false fact of, well, I'm in love with this person, so I've got to deal with these problems. Your heart tells you that your first love has to be yourself. You have to be your own sovereign. And your first love has to be yourself. If something is going to hurt you, then it's not really serving you, because you've learnt your lesson. You don't have to go through all that stuff again. It actually says, I don't know if you could see it, it says, follow the path of your soul. Do not allow anyone or anything to stop you. Okay? You have the opportunity now to keep on that path for you. You've discovered how peaceful it is not to have the dramas of these lessons, okay? Of the lesson of the blowing from cold to hot, from hot to cold. You don't need to do that anymore, because you know now the peace that you want in your life. And that peace is there now as your open opportunity. Now, let's see what there is from Spirit. Whoa. Cross the bridge of happiness. It leads over the depths of your emotions. Okay, now, one thing you are not your thoughts, you are not your emotions. Your emotions are a guide to show you what you want and what you don't want. When you're unhappy, that's showing you what you don't want. When you are happy and you feel good, that's showing you what you want. So in all this time that you've been probably isolating in this, and where did that other card go? Learning about yourself with this, okay? You've been healing from the blowing of hot and cold, of nice and not nice, of healthy and toxic. And you've been switching backwards and forth in this time, but you've learned of the peace that you actually do want, because you've had that peace of self-isolation, and you've learned what you do want out of life. Don't let anybody or anyone get in the way of that ever again, because this is your calling, to follow your soul path. Follow your soul path, and that calls in everything else that is good for you. And it's not like you're going to be constantly up above problems. Problems come, but on the bridge of happiness, you are going to be able to be above the emotions that you're having. And that is the aim, to master those emotions, to stay happy despite the emotions that come up. Because you are not your emotions. Your soul is not your emotion. Your spirit is not your emotion. Your spirit and your soul, that's part of your spirit knows everything. It already knows. It doesn't feel the happy and the sad. It has the memories, but it looks at them in retrospect. It's us that it's our human brain that triggers the emotions, because it triggers hormones when we think something. It all works together, but we are meant to be happily above our emotions. A high emotional intelligence means that we stay on that bridge, consciously choosing to stay on that bridge, not to black out and ignore any triggers that come up. If we see this happening again, the dodge between cold, warm, breadcrumbing, gaslighting, all that type of thing. If we see anything like that is switching and on and off and up and down, we know because we've learned how to avoid it now, how to understand it, how to win at that game. And that is by walking away, because we need to remember that we are sovereign and no one can take that away from us. That is our birthright, to be sovereign. And when we are sovereign, whether this situation comes in the physical or in the spiritual, whether we feel it spiritually inside ourselves, because we're with ourselves, we have aligned with our soul, and we can feel that peace, that love, that happiness, without the need for a person to come in and take care of us, to provide all that for us. We can do that because we are sovereign. We recognize our own sovereign. Once you recognize your own sovereignty and you feel that within yourself, you're not alone. Then the workings of energy bring someone to you to match that level that you're on, because this is a soul contract. This is what you agree to do. You first unite with yourself, and then someone else will come along in agreement with that contract. And regardless of any ups and downs, because no relationship on earth is fandabidoze and all love and light and happiness. There's always disagreements. That's when you start to think of your happiness in unity, because your emotions they're like a whirlpool, and they'll drag you down deep if you listen to those toxic thoughts in your mind that might come up within a relationship. If you listen to those, then that's what will happen with your emotions. They will drag you down into the bottom of a whirlpool. If you listen to the wisdom, to the clarity of your soul, you will be able to remain on that bridge of happiness. Let's just see one more and see what comes out for you. One more, please. One more. Exactly. Rise above the dark days of life. Don't fight them, but have the faith that the light will always return. It might mean that sometimes you still have to go within. Even if you're in that ideal relationship, you might still need to go within and find some answers. And there's nothing wrong with that, because that's what happens. Sometimes you might like shopping and your partner might hate shopping. but they might be happy to go with you, and you make a compromise for it. But it should be a happy and satisfying compromise, not something that drags you down into the dark depths of your emotions, not suffocates you or drowns you in emotion of negativity. Rise above the dark by looking for higher compromises, not lower compromises, but higher compromises, because that is the way to stay on the bridge of happiness and not fall into the whirlpool of emotions. So I'm just going to finish with one of these now. It might be two, it depends what Spirit feels, but let's see. Ooh, okay. Okay. We got Brownie giving us protection, and we've got Moth reminding you for the caution that's needed to understand this game of life, to see the pitfalls, the red flags. It's a game of life. It's a game of not trickery, not like players, deceitfulness and things like that. It's a game of learning the best way to live for you. Okay? If it makes you unhappy, you walk away. You drop that baggage. If it makes you more unhappy than happy, then you drop that baggage. You don't be like the moth to the flame, okay? Unless that flame is the flame of your happiness. And that flame of happiness can be inside yourself, not outside in another person. That flame of happiness is inside you. And that's the thing that draws the moth to your own brightness and the fulfilling of your karmic or your soul contracts. Okay, so I am going to stop there, much longer than I expected. So Lucky Bug will say goodbye for now, and Lucky Bug, we'll see you again soon. Bye bye.